An emotional family reunion for American journalist Danny Fenster, 6 months after being wrongfully detained by the military junta in Myanmar, formerly known as Burma.
No words and something. Amazing.
A day after he was pardoned and released from prison, Fenster had this reaction.
It's a long time coming, it's a day, it's a moment that I've been imagining so intensely for so long. It surpasses everything I imagined.
Fenster told reporters he was not physically mistreated or starved in jail. He was arrested for covering the aftermath of the military coup in February, which has led to the deaths of 1,100 civilians and the arrest of 8,000 during the brutal crackdown in the Southeast Asian nation. Fenster said those who are still wrongfully detained are on his mind.
So I'm going to take time to celebrate and to spend time with my family, and then, continue concentrating on all the other, not just journalists and prisoners of conscience in Myanmar and everywhere else.
Fenster arrived in New York Tuesday morning with former U.S. diplomat Bill Richardson, who went to Myanmar to meet with top junta leaders. Richardson described to VOA how he won Fenster's release.
When we made progress on humanitarian issues and vaccine issues, I said, I think we got some dialogue going. And so that's when I pushed on Danny, and we sealed it.
Richardson added he believes journalists are the most vulnerable to persecution by authoritarian governments and should be given more attention and protection.
We should protect every political prisoner and hostage, especially American. But I see journalists across the board being more vulnerable everywhere, not just in Southeast Asia, but in Russia and Latin America for their reporting, and that's wrong. They're doing their job.
Fenster was released just days after being sentenced last week in Myanmar for incitement, unlawful association, and breaching visa rules. And his release came just one day before he was to face terror and sedition charges that could have put him in jail for life. But any sentence under the military junta is completely arbitrary, says independent Myanmar journalist Naing.
In this environment in Burma, there is no rule of law. And the law is in their mind of the generals. And they can do whatever they want, and they don't care. So that's the bottom line.
There were more joyful scenes last month when family members of detained pro-democracy protesters crowded around a jail, hoping their loved ones would be among the thousands Myanmar's military junta had promised to release under increasing international pressure. Cindy Sain, VOA News.